Habibi!
Welcome to Zanzibar!
Fly with me from Uganda to Zanzibar in business class using Uganda Airlines. So I started by lounging at the Karibuni Lounge at Entebbe Airport. Ugandans, I'm going to hold your hand as I tell you this. This lounge, it needs work. From the decor to the colors to the entertainment, the whole thing needs a makeover like immediately. Anyway, the food was delicious. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. So we're able to take the bus from the airport all the way to the flights. We're able to board and take the comfortable seats. Immediately, we're given orange juice by the air hostess. Very delicious juice. I really liked it. Oh, another thing, Uganda Airlines has the most delicious food I've ever eaten on a flight. 10 out of 10, I highly recommend. I ate the fried beef, Irish, some fruits, bread, and the air hostess kept the champagne coming. I really had a good time. By the time I landed in Zanzibar, I was happy, excited. The vibes were 10 out of 10. I was able to pick up my luggage and exit the airport. I was picked up by the accommodation where I was going to be at Ananda Beach Resort. So my time in Zanzibar was split between Paje and Nungwi because some excursions were closer to Nungwi and others were closer to Paje. So this particular hotel is located in Nungwi. It's at the southeast border of Zanzibar. I like this hotel because it's small and so cozy because it's a boutique hotel. I like that it had a pool. It was nice. The aesthetic was really fun. It had like mirrors all around it. It also had like good meals. Breakfast, lunch was provided. There was a cool lounging place by the pool. Totally fun. I would highly recommend it, although it's always booked out, so you have to book it so many months in advance. Moving on, what I really appreciated about this boutique hotel is how accessible it was to the beach. It was about a 2-minute walk from the beach, and so it was fun to just chill by the beach. And the restaurant that belongs to the boutique hotel is also just by the beach, and there's a chain of restaurants, hotels. So there's so much to do. So some of the things to keep in mind while planning your trip to Zanzibar is a mandatory travel insurance was introduced. So you make sure you pay for that, because if you don't, when you land, you'll have to make a long queue and have to pay for that before you're accepted to get into the country. Then also make sure you carry lots of sunscreen, light clothing, and mosquito repellent if you do. So this was the restaurant that was attached to the boutique hotel. It had very delicious food. There were very many fun spots right by that restaurant. Like that whole stretch has like different restaurants, brunch spots, and yeah. So the first excursion that I went to do was this, swimming with the turtles. Now this is about $23 for each individual that enters the park. So whether you decide to go and swim with the turtles or not, you're still going to pay that uniform fee of $23. Now something to keep in mind when you see these turtles is they actually bite. So you have to be careful while you're feeding them. So when it's your turn to go into the water, you're given a container that has plants that you're going to use to feed the turtles. Also, you're told to be careful because at the bottom of this water, the rocks are actually sharp. So when you're trying to run away or move slowly away from the turtles, you have to be super careful because you could hurt your feet under the water. Yes, but that aside, the excursion is actually fun. It's highly recommended for like families, couples, even for solo travelers, because even if you don't have anybody to capture your content, the guides who help manage this whole space can be able to take some content on your behalf, take for you some pictures, some videos, and of course if you like the result of everything, you're able to give them some tips. But yeah, I was super scared, but anything for the gram. Anyway, so moving on. Now the next excursion was quad biking. Now this one was quite pricey. I was surprised actually. It was $130 per quad bike. However, you can order one quad bike and then you ride it 2 people, but what's the fun in that? Because everybody needs their own quad bike if you're actually going to have a good experience. Now this thing is actually 4 hours. Like you either choose the morning session or the afternoon session, but then it's a ride around the whole village. And no matter what session you pick, the sun is going to be so hot because it's Zanzibar and I was super sunburned. But all in all, I had a good time. It was an amazing experience. Also, you're given fruits, like you stop around some places and you're given like fruits, different snacks, all in the $130. But the $130 does not include your transfer from like your hotel to the place the excursion is supposed to start. So keep that in mind. So up next was exploring around Stone Town. So Stone Town is really nice. It's where you see those big wooden doors that people people usually take pictures with, and it's quite busy. It has like different markets, different vendors up and down, so this is a good place for you to buy some souvenirs that are quite affordable instead of buying them like at the airport. So they had like African stuff, bags, African jewelry, and since I love rings and earrings so much that are like African inspired, I was able to get a couple of them from here, as well as some stone magnets that you can put on your fridge. Yeah, so just walking up and down, exploring, appreciating the culture. You're able to see the doors as you walk around Stone Town, so they are not all in one place. So as you tour and you walk up and down different streets, you're able to spot different doors and they have different designs. A good place to eat food while you're exploring the Stone Town is the Cape Town Fish Market. Now this place is so beautiful. It's literally by the water, so you're able to take in like the scenery, and the food and cocktails were actually delicious. I actually recommend this restaurant for people that love seafood. Actually, most of the restaurants in Zanzibar, if you love seafood, you're going to have an amazing time eating here because the seafood is fresh, it's nice, and they know how to make it because they specialize in it. So something to note while you're at this restaurant is there are so many cats that hang out in this restaurant. Like as you're eating your food at the bottom, don't be surprised when you see small cats running up and down because, you know, seafood, I think fish attracts cats that much. I actually took a small video when I was leaving the restaurant. The cats are all over the place. Anyway, so Stone Town is a perfect place for you to rent a boat and go see the Prison Island. So renting a boat here has to be two-way because it has to take you to Prison Island and then bring you back to Stone Town, and then from Stone Town you have to get another public transport back to the hotel all the way in Nungwi or Paji, depending on where your accommodation is. So, and the $40 was a round trip, but it did not include the entrance fee into the Prison Island. So once you get to the Prison Island, you go into the office, make payments depending on your nationality. Of course, if you're East African, it's going to be a bit cheaper, and if you're from outside East Africa, then you're going to pay slightly more. So once you get your tickets, after paying the fee into Prison Island, you're able to start exploring the island and looking at, I think the biggest deal at the island is the tortoises. Like they are all over the place and they are really, really old. Like some as old as like 200 years. And they are just still, like you can take your time, explore them. I like that the numbers were small and managed by Prison Island. So you're able to take your time and just, you know, enjoy the island at your own pace without so many people being like, you know, on your bumper, wanting to take pictures at the same spot you're standing and all that touristy stuff. Yeah. So it was a nice way to just chill, take in all the architecture and all that stuff, listen to like the stories of the Prison Island. So it was originally built in the late 1800s and it never actually held inmates as most people may think, but it was later used as a quarantine station. So today it's a peaceful haven where you can go meet giant Aldabra tortoises, stroll through the historic ruins, snorkel in the clear water, and basically just hang out. There's many fun spots here. Now on your way to Prison Island, you can decide to stop over. There's a place where like two beaches meet, but then there is sand in the middle, so you can decide to stop over there and then snack, spend some time there just chilling. Yeah, depending on the time of the day that you decide to visit the island, because as you know, the waves, their movement is determined by the time of the day. So there are certain times in the day where that island will not be visible at all because the water waves will be higher than expected. But overall, coming back from the island is quite beautiful. You're able to see like the sunset, and you're able to just, you know, take it in. The sunsets and sunrises are so beautiful in Zanzibar. Like that's one of my favorite things actually about the island. So this is what the breakfast looks like. So there are very many options, of course, and you can choose whatever you want to have for breakfast. So next I was able to explore the famous rock restaurant in Zanzibar. So this is one of those tourist spots that everybody has to go to when you go to Zanzibar. So this place is located in Zanzibar's Michamvi Pingwe Beach. So the rock restaurant offers a dining experience like no other. Originally it was a humble fisherman's post, but it was transformed in 2010 into the world-renowned culinary destination. So at low tide, tourists are able to walk over and just go into the restaurant, but at high tide you actually need the help of like a boat to get there. So one of the things for you to keep in mind, ladies, is don't even bother with high heels when you come into this restaurant, because you have to remove your shoes and get onto the boat. Now most people say that the restaurant is quite pricey, so I included the average range of food is like between $23 to $49 for food, and the cocktails are about $12 each. So that's the average price of that you can expect to spend there. So once again, if you love seafood, this is going to be a good option for you because you're going to have so many options and they're all going to be fresh and you're going to love your food. So the food consists of many spices, many Zanzibar spices. However, they are cooked in Italian style. I think it's an Italian restaurant actually. So after you've eaten your food, there's an outdoor lounge spot that you can go to and enjoy your dessert. And it's really beautiful. Like the views from outside here, so amazing. And the sunsets, oh my god, the sunsets were really beautiful. Like there are some things literally that you cannot capture like in a picture or a video. You can try, but you can't quite capture like how beautiful it is. So after dining at the restaurant, you see this is how you leave the restaurant on that boat. So you have to take off your shoes, you have to make sure you're wearing something comfortable. So halfway through that trip, I went the opposite side of Zanzibar, which is actually a place called Nungwi. So this hotel is called the Opera Hotel and it's located in Nungwi, and it's a very beautiful spot. It's actually also Italian owned, but I like the fact that it was so quiet and always clean and really beautiful. Like it was just a quiet spot to like, unwind and chill. This is what the room looks like inside. I like that you're given a drink upon arrival. That's really nice. And also like the security guards are really good at helping like with the luggage. Generally the place is beautiful. I highly recommend it. So this hotel also had a spa offering massages, beauty treatments. It had a well-stocked bar, a restaurant on top. It had like hookah, everything fun, and also it was quite walkable from the beach. So it was generally a quiet spot and highly recommended for like solo travelers, couples, and families, even those with little babies. I was able to see quite a few families with very small kids because the place is quiet and peaceful. It's secluded, so you're able to have, some peaceful time. And if you want some activities and excursions, you're able to go out and come back in because the places were quite near Nungwi. So they also had very delicious food at the restaurant upstairs. So the first thing I did at this place was I went for horseback riding. So I was able to do this at the Zanzibar Horse Club. Now this excursion is quite interesting. It has a bit of restrictions that you have to pay close attention to if you're going to go here. Now number one, you cannot be above 85 kgs if you're trying to book this excursion. Now if you book it and you're over 85 kgs, your money will not be refunded to you and you'll still not be able to ride. Now secondly, if you're more than 15 minutes late, your excursion is going to be cancelled and your money still will not be refunded to you. So I booked it out of their Nungwi stables. So the Zanzibar Horse Club has different stables you can book the excursion out of. So I went with the one at the Nungwi stables. And there's different kinds of rides that you can book. So I went with the village and the beach ride. And the whole excursion lasts about 1 hour. One thing to note is you're given riding boots, so you don't have to worry about the kind of shoes that you come riding in. Another thing to note is you're supposed to come with pants, so you're not allowed to ride like in shorts and anything that could be able to like damage you, because it's so hot and the saddle is leather, so it gets really hot and you could end up getting sunburned. Because it's actually been 3 months since I did this excursion, but my body is still recovering. Like I still have burn marks from the sun in Zanzibar. Even if I had lots of sunscreen and protective clothes and all that, the effect of the sun was still quite very visible. So that's one thing to keep at the back of your mind as you book these excursions. If you're going to be outside, the sun, the effect of the sun is going to show on your body. Anyway, but the excursion was generally fun. I highly recommend it because the water is so beautiful, the fresh air, you're able to ride the horse by the beach. Every person is given a guide to walk with them. So this guide can be able to take like your pictures, your videos, even if you're a solo traveler. It's a fun excursion. You're able to meet other tourists, have some fun times, joke a bit. Most of the ladies who came to ride this horse, their husbands or their boyfriends were not able to ride the horse because most of them were over 85 kilograms. That's how I know about that whole rule and everything. And it's also on their website actually. So another excursion that I did when I was close to Nungwi was jet skiing, of course. Like, how can you go to an island and you're not able to jet ski? That's such a given. And I really had a good time with this jet ski because I did a drone shoot. It's the first time I ever did a drone shoot riding a jet ski. I feel like this is one of the things that you just have to get out of your bucket list. Like, it's one of the things that you just have to do. So I had a good time doing this. As you can tell already on my skin, the sun had showed me shaggy. Like, you can tell how I have different skin tones, like different colors in different parts of my body because of the effect of the sun. But I didn't even care because I was having such a good time. It was so much fun. Now this excursion is $150. It lasted about 40 minutes. The $150 covers the cost of the actual photography, the drone photography. It also covers renting of the jet ski. And the photographer was kind enough to offer a ride from the hotel to the beach for this excursion to take place and also back to the hotel after the excursion. Now, one thing about this drone photography that I can give you as a tip is you have to have sunglasses. Honestly, I don't see how you do it without good sunglasses, because the sun is so bright and there are so many times that you have to be required to either look up or keep riding back to the beach to listen to the instructions of the guide. So if you don't have enough time, or if you've booked a jet ski for very few minutes, then you're not able to get the most out of like the drone shoot. So something else that I did still while at the beach with the same drone photographer was kayaking. You know those pictures that people take when they are kayaking? Yeah, the drone pictures. Oh my god, this is actually where you actually really need the sunglasses, because you're looking directly into the sun. If you look away from the sun, then you're not able to take nice pictures because they have to see your face, right? And if you don't have sunglasses, then it's going to show on the look on your face, because you're going to be squinting. So the biggest hack, you have to have good sunglasses. Another hack when going for the drone photography, at least for the kayaking, is you have to make sure you have lots of sunscreen and also body oil. If you have body oil, it would really be good, because it will help your pictures pop more, because you'll have that, that shimmery look on your skin. Additionally, it would really be a good idea for you to have a bright colored swimsuit. Like if you have something dull like black or white, I feel like it can get lost in the color of the water, as you can see, because these were done on the same day. I did the jet ski on the same day that I did this drone photography, but I had to change into this swimsuit because it's purple and at least it has a pop of color, so you're able to see it clearly, in the pictures, versus if it was just like black, right? Anyway, those are just a few tips to keep at the back of your mind. And this thing is hot, actually. It's a plastic thing, and when the sun hits it, it gets super hot, super hot. So that thing is not comfortable at all, so keep that in mind. So another excursion that I was quite excited for was swimming with the dolphins at Mnemba Island. So Mnemba Island is one of the most beautiful islands I've ever seen. No wonder Bill Gates has an island here and a resort. It's so beautiful. Like the sand is so white, the water is so crisp. I don't even think the video can bring out like the actual beauty of this place. It's really adorable. So this excursion was booked through a company called My Zanzibar Door, and they actually offer both private and group excursions depending on what you want to book. So what I liked about them is their fee includes picking up from the hotel to the beach, and then for the excursion and back to the beach. So as you can see, the dolphins were here. So there are many boats that are around there. Different people are trying to swim around the dolphins. So whenever you see the dolphins, there's some people who jump out of the boat and they go and swim with the dolphins. You can see the dolphins over here. Yeah, so it was fun, watching them, recording them. But for me, no thank you. I wasn't about to risk my life jumping into an ocean to swim with dolphins. And this excursion comes with fruits. Like, this is a place where they stop at and other people are swimming with the dolphins. Then you're able to enjoy fruits. I was able to take like some pictures or videos. I was trying to stand still, but the waves couldn't let me stand still and take good pictures. But it was a really fun excursion. I highly recommend it. It's also good for like families and couples. So one thing to keep in mind while booking this excursion is there's no guarantee that you're actually going to see dolphins. So it depends on like the season, it depends on the time of the day, and you're also told that by the guide before you set off that coming does not guarantee that you're going to see dolphins. So the people that pay for it, book for it, and they're not able to see any dolphin, so it's not the problem of the guide or anything. So you just have to take your L in peace. But yeah, so that was, I think, most of it for Zanzibar, to be honest. And that's pretty much the same thing for the different excursions. So you have to make sure you look up the best times to travel to Zanzibar, because sometimes the beaches are dirty. You're going to find like leaves and stuff, so you're not going to have a good experience, and you'll think it's Zanzibar, but actually it's like your research and the time that you go. So, and it's very important for you to make as many reservations as possible before traveling, because some of these places, like the Rock Restaurant, it's usually booked, let's say, like 1 week in advance. Some of these excursions, you can't just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to do this today. No, you have to plan your trip in advance, make some calls, contact them via WhatsApp, make your booking, so that when you come, everything is set and you're able to have a good experience. Unless you just want to stay in the hotel, chill, walk by the beach, which is also fine, because people vacation differently. So this is the Mahaba Lounge. It's the business lounge of the Zanzibar airport. So since I traveled business, I was able to go in here, hang out a bit, eat as many things as I wanted to, drink as many things as I wanted to, as I waited for the flight. But also you have to be careful the things you put in your luggage, because these guys, so many people carry, let's say, like water from Zanzibar. They carry maybe shells and things like that. So those things are captured. because you're not allowed to take them in the plane. They could be harmful, or you could use them to harm other people. Yeah, but all that being said, I had an amazing time in Zanzibar. I highly recommend it. It was a 10 out of 10 experience. Beautiful people, beautiful weather, beautiful culture. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with anybody that you know is planning to travel to Zanzibar soon, or someone that went to Zanzibar and wants to go back and have a better experience this time round. Bye.